Welcome to Brainstorm MTG. I'm ELD. This is Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering, now from ELD's Time Ball Games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. And we are actually starting out in the middle of the game here, jumping the gun with a Ponder from Lucas Von Samson on Storm. And he is up against not Tyler. We'll see if we can get that name updated. We see Mox Diamond and a Sylvan Library already in play. So Aggro Loam for Justin. Both players moving their game plans forward, getting some card selection online, and Lucas has assembled the best combo in the game there with a Polluted Delta along with that Brainstorm. Draw 3, put the 2 worst back, and he's following it up with a Thoughtseize off a basic Swamp, and we see, looks like Assassin's Trophy, Liliana, and Punishing Fire along with that Wasteland. So Storm's mana base is going to be immune to Wasteland here. Very likely that Lily's going to go. Punishing Fire not going to do much. Question of Assassin's Trophy killing a basic land if Lucas has any more. And he does, in fact, take the Lily, the bigger threat. That will, of course, not really going to kill many creatures, but shredding Lucas's hand over time would become an issue. Paying some life off of Sylvan. And go ahead and cashing out that extra value right away. Mox Diamond. Now Assassin's Trophy. Taking out that basic Swamp. Lucas does have another basic. Very often Storm running a couple of basic islands. Really allowing you to chain your cantrips and not have to worry about cards like Blood Moon. Very often, when you ponder or preordain, you're going to want to be able to keep other cantrips on top of your library, either for greater card selection or actually for building Storm. That is a kind of very important line with Storm, is the ability to chain cantrips and get potentially 2 or 3 Storm up front before you start ritualing off or tutoring for the win. It can also make it very difficult to play against, given that if you do have a bit of a Storm count already, as you play your tutors, your opponent may be in a situation where their counters actually just give you lethal Storm either way if you have a card like Tendrils of Agony or Empty the Warrens in hand already. Lotus Petal now. Lotus Petal, Lotus Petal. And it looks like we're ready to rock and roll here. Cabal Ritual. Can't see the graveyard, but I believe we have Threshold indicated by that die. We've got 5 black mana, 2 Lotus Petals left, so 7 total available. Are we going to see a Dark Petition? Contemplating Reign of Filth, I believe. I think we should just be all in on Dark Petition here. When that resolves, he will get 3 additional mana from Spell Mastery, I believe it's called. One of the things that makes Graveyard hate against Storm incidentally a bit better is potentially shutting down the extra 3 mana from the Dark Petition. And then we've got the Reign of Filth into Ad Nauseam. So very interesting here. I don't know, without seeing his entire graveyard, curious if a Past in Flames would have been lethal there. But this will certainly be lethal. Got a land for turn, Lotus Petal, LED to go along with those rituals and the Infernal Tutor. We're just going to see a flurry of spells here. Far beyond lethal, cracking LED in response. And this Tendrils should end the game right on the spot there, Justin. Not going to be able to respond to that with anything meaningful as Aggro Loam. I don't think Lucas needed to be careful about there is getting too low with that Punishing Fire in hand. But mercifully, the Ad Nauseam gave him everything he needed in short order. Storm, one of those decks that is really kind of underrepresented in the meta. If robots were the ones playing Magic the Gathering, but that is not the case. Humans definitely have a tough time with Storm, and there's really no easier match in Magic than a bad combo player. They literally find ways to kill themselves. They take lines that don't work out. Even little slip-ups with math, just very basic errors that can be made just from lack of experience, can be extremely punishing, and usually are extremely punishing when you're playing a deck like Storm. You really need to play your best to not only maximize your chances, but to not turn certain wins into losses. Very often with other decks, you might take a few percentage points off with some suboptimal play. But with Storm, very often it's more of a binary situation. Either you're going to win or you're going to lose, and it's going to be based off of how efficient you are with your mana, how much you're able to take advantage of small openings. Definitely one of the harder decks to play, in my estimation, in terms of how punishing it is when you do. You contrast that with something like Elves, where playing Elves optimally is also incredibly difficult. Even from a technical perspective, for a beginner, there's a ton of triggers when you're talking about things like Glimpse of Nature, making sure that you're doing things in the proper order with your Nettle Sentinels and your Elvish Visionaries and everything. But with Elves, kind of worst case scenario, if you're comboing off and you don't do it perfectly, a lot of the time you end up with just a mountain of Elves and kill them on the next turn, or maybe you Crater Hoof but not for as much damage. There's a lot of ways where you can play suboptimally and still win. But Storm, I mean, tendrilsing somebody for 18 from 20 really, probably guarantees a loss. Aggro Loam not going to be happy with their hand. On the other side of the table here, Justin is likely going to be looking for Gaddock Teague. That's still probably the best answer to Storm, depending on his build. Thalia is also very good. Generally not just going to want efficient beaters. Usually going to need things that really affect the stack. Either Sworn Canonist, a sideboard card that could potentially be of use. It looks like just land go from Justin, and Lucas with Lotus Petal into Ponder. Not a play I would often make. Usually not interested in pondering off of a Lotus Petal. A bit too much of a commitment for the quality of that card, in my opinion. I'd generally rather mulligan it. See what the rest of his hand is. Makes this keepable. And it may not be. It may just prove to be an error. See how this plays out. Shrubland for Justin, along with a Bayou, giving him access to all sorts of different colors here. And it looks like a Thalia. All of Lucas's spells about to cost one more, which is even more problematic here, given the fact that he has no mana. It looks like we are seeing that keep being punished very thoroughly. One of the other issues of keeping Lotus Petal Ponder, depending on the strength of the rest of the hand, unless it's very much a hand where you're going to win if you hit a specific card or two, is once you let Aggro Loam get to turn 2 and 3, they can start dropping these must-answer cards. And here we see another one with Gaddock Teague. So Legends assembled. And Lucas has seen enough. Lucas scooping up here. Perhaps out of respect for the viewers. Not wanting to just have that drag on. From a tournament perspective, Storm would be very happy going into Game 3 with just a minute or so left on the clock. That is almost certainly going to result in at least a draw and give you an actual chance to win. If the game is going more than a few minutes versus Aggro Loam, you're probably going to be in a world of hurt. And the untimed turns do allow for you to think through your lines. Of course, you have to play at a reasonable pace, but there's no more time on the clock, so might as well make sure you actually end up with lethal. But let's see here. Still plenty of time left in the round, so the clock not going to be an issue here. That is a consideration for those of you that are starting to get into tournaments, is there is a major difference in between winning tournaments and winning games of Magic or even winning matches of Magic, and clock management is a major part of that. During the Miracle era, Sensei's Top counterbalance ruled. That was a really consistent issue that players would run into, is just not really effectively using the clock. Players that should have ended up with a win would end up with a draw. A Leyline of the Void here for Justin. This is going to shut off Past in Flames entirely. But on a side note, it also, as we mentioned before, messes with Dark Petition, making it a 5-mana tutor. Generally not going to be worth casting at that mana cost. Often going to need a ritual in order to combo with it. And it also makes Cabal Ritual much worse, ensuring that there's never any threshold. So Leyline of the Void, definitely something that can slow down Storm depending on the mix of cards that they draw. Now, Mox Diamond from Justin on his first available turn. I did not see the threat that he cast. We have a bit of an issue with glare here that we're working through. Off of a Scrubland and the Mox Diamond, so that could be just about any 2-drop in the game. Misty Rainforest for Lucas. And a Preordain. One thing that can be difficult for players, especially playing in big events for the first time, is when you're running really well, it can be very tempting to start to keep hands that are simply not keepable, just because you kind of get a feeling like you're unbeatable. You know, just won 3 or 4 rounds. You know, you're running great. Everything's going awesome. That is a Dark Confidant there. Bob gonna start chipping in for 2 and really gonna start pulling way ahead here for Justin, getting an extra card per turn. And Thalia comes down as well. That is something to be mindful of, is making sure that you continue to play your best, even when things are going your way. Basic Island casting that Lotus Petal now. Not much of a bargain anymore. No longer free acceleration. Everything's going to be taxed here by Thalia. Going to be very, very specific cards that are going to allow Lucas to get his way out of this. We're going to need to see a bunch of rituals chained together. Likely into Empty the Warrens. I mean, this is actually getting, it's pretty tough, because without Past in Flames, it may just have to be an answer. It may just have to be a sweeper, something like Toxic Deluge, Massacre. Abrupt Decay from Justin. Looks like he's taking out that Lotus Petal. Restricting the mana as much as he can. Not likely to get a better target for it. Ah, there we go. Helps quite a bit with the glare there. And Chain of Vapor in response to the Abrupt Decay. A little bit of small ball here. Very, very interesting. Now we can see a land sacked to return Thalia. Chain of Vapor, one of my favorite cards in the deck. Now, when is this Abrupt Decay being cast? This may just be a main phase play here for Justin. Lucas may get a turn with a Lotus Petal in hand and no Thalia. Well, this may be good enough. Let's see. No, and instead targeting... So Thalia's back down. I'm not sure if Mox Diamond was targeted or not. It's kind of moved around a bit. But Thalia has come back. Maybe Justin tapped Mox Diamond and then sacked a land to target his own Mox Diamond so he could get double duty out of it. So Ponder here, back to paying 2 mana for cantrips. Lotus Petal is in hand. Chain of Vapor saving the Lotus Petal for later, but will there be a later? Lotus Petal being cast. Trying to build up. Abrupt Decay being revealed by Dark Confidant. Probably going to do this dance again right now. We're going to see this Abrupt Decay fired off. Seems almost like a certainty. Did it last time. Have something better. And instead, all right, so Chalice at 1. Justin determining Chalice at 1 is a better play than just destroying the Lotus Petal with the Abrupt Decay. To be fair, Chalice is extremely good here. Lion's Eye Diamond and double Lotus Petal. So Lucas actually has a ton of potential as far as mana goes. Life total about to get lower. Green Sun Zenith. 5 damage on board. That's going to put Lucas down to 8. And he can Zenith for Gaddock Teague if he likes. Let's see if he's got any better Hate Bears. Value from Lucas. The last builds I was playing of Storm were no longer running the green. That is before Assassin's Trophy. Did miss Xantid Swarm. Say that. Xantid Swarm, back when Cabal Therapy was part of the list. Spicy card. Here we go, Dark Ritual, and it looks like last cards. Oh, it's countered by the Chalice. He's just doing a Chalice check here. Infernal Tutor, the last card in hand, and this is going to be academic from here. Abrupt Decay shown, just way too many necessary targets, and Lucas is taken down by Justin with Aggro Loam in 3. All right, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit subscribe, the notification bell to help grow the channel. I'd love to hit 1,000 subscribers in the next couple of months, and with your help, we can make that happen. Thanks. Bye.